meant to be more of a joyous occasion despite all of the file name shenanigans going on as we are about to take off.
All right, so we got bombs in Sanctuary, 300 rupees in Link's house. That's pretty good to have. You don't have to worry about money starting out. And Sabotender, I think he's going to go spend some of that money while also taking a look at the island here. Yeah.
Was that? Did I just see boots on that island?
I hope you did, because I didn't see a thing.
I mean, we need water toes for what are those? This seed's already going a little crazy here.
Alright, so we're being told that the pendant crystal situation for the light world is a 5-6 at desert, a crystal at eastern, and a green rupee, or green pendant, green pendant at Taravera. Now we're gonna have to get all of those no matter what, but at least shows us what we can unlock with those.
Also, first sword found at the mushroom spot, while Sabotender is about to drain the reservoir. And for those keeping up, we do not need to worry about the lumberjack tree, but we're still gonna have to take out our wizardly foe anyway.
Alright, 50 rupees under the water, so Sabotender is pretty high on money. Wouldn't be surprised to see him just go to Zora if he gets the money. We got Blind Hut happening on Goomba's screen. There's a hook shot.
Hookshot, great for Death Mountain Traversal. We also have Blue Mail for defense and also Mini Moldorm Destruction. Sabotender having to use bombs. And Go ahead.
Hey, there's a flute. And a bottle, so those are two very nice things to have before you go to Kakariko Village. So I'm gonna go with good call on Sabotender's part. Hey, a Master Sword in the well plus tons of money.
It's rare that I see runners go to Mini Moldorm Cave before Kakariko, but in this case, it certainly paid off.
Yeah, I don't see it that often, and to be honest, the way this happened on Sabotender's screen, he wanted that is what you're going for if you're making that play, so it really paid off on his end.
This also means Sabotender, with that bottle from Mini Moldorm, is going to be the first to actually visit the sick kid. And who knows? We may have something useful there.
Yep. Now, when Sabotender activates that flute, I may have something prepared, though I know we won't be able to use his audio. I'm okay with it.
Your choice if we wait for audio or just do it.
I honestly prefer to not have to match with the audio on stream.
Fair enough. Library is knocked out. Goomba is immediately going for the race game, perhaps suspecting there may be something there.
Just a bunch of money, but you know what? I'm not turning it down.
I'm not turning 300 down either. So now we can definitely afford King Zora's exorbitant amount of money. Apparently, he likes to celebrate National Coin Week.
Is that one of those things this week?
Yes, there are many different occasions going on for this entire weekend, and I did actually prepare a little list.
So what's the official length on National Coin Week? Is that like Sunday through Sunday, or is that what?
I believe it's Sunday through Sunday. In the meantime, Goomba's visiting Uncle, getting some more money, but not what we're looking for right now. Just 20 rupees is kinda simple.
And
10
10 arrows.
arrows. Yes. Skip that one.
It was very interesting that nobody in this race decided to go for the instant uncle play.
Hold on,
And here
you're
we go.
up, Bob.
It's an all dungeons run, so it's not quite as fun. You know what must be done from the word go. But I just hope to see the flippers up in GG, so Swamp Palace can be done in go mode.
Nicely done. Meantime, Goomba's gone off to the escape sequence. Starting off with money, though. While Fear Agent is visiting Agima's cave? That's...
It is a bit of an unorthodox early play, but it can pay off just as well as, going to South Shore early, so who knows. Speaking of South Shore early, here is that bottle check, just big 20.
And second escape chest, just some more arrows. Alright, Fear, what's in there?
I mean, I'm not going to feel too bad about picking up a full heart, but maybe a little bad. And it's a free heart, but it's not something you need. And in all dungeons, avoiding the optional locations is one of the few ways to actually gain time.
And, ooh, interesting. We've already gotten 4 of the 6 items inside the Hyrule Castle area. There's still a small key and a map unaccounted for, of course, but ideally, we would like to find a Power Glove right now.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if anyone will go for the dark room.
We could see it, we may not. For those that are new to this randomizer, the logic never requires you to enter a dark room without the lantern. But it is entirely possible to get to that chest inside the dark sewers or dark cross room, whatever you call it, without needing the lantern. Just pick it up and hope you don't run into too many snakes.
Yeah, you know what does require going into dark rooms? Swag.
Well, I'm sure at least some of our runners, hopefully all of them, will have plenty of it.
Yeah, speaking of which, Sabatender is now heading over to Eastern Palace, and that is another place where a dark room can happen, and more than likely will. Most runners will not skip the big key chest, even when they don't have the lamp.
Alright, we don't need to speak to Sahaswa, we already know of the green pendant. But how about that
Hey,
closet? Oh!
Never mind, no lamp, or no dark rooms today.
That's wonderful timing. So, everything that I just talked about, this seed has suddenly become swagless by a little.
So speaking of swag, or lack thereof, you know those dark rooms we were talking about? Well, Sabatender's in one of them.
Makes sense.
And P-Train is in another. P-Train is actually doing the Dark Cross, so there you go. And he's actually on the chest right now. We didn't get to see what it was. Apparently, one of the updates slated for V31, or whatever the next iteration will be, is making sure that all the darkroom items will be visible when you pick them up.
It would be a nice addition. But what's also a nice addition, note what the old man provides.
Mm-hmm. Now, you know what we have? We have at least the Master Sword and a lamp.
That is true, and while this is an all dungeons run, no one likes to have to visit, this particular guy. I'm going to quote another commentator in which we may be off to see the wizard, the wonderful wizard of Og.
Nice. Hey, there's the magic powder in Paradox Cave. Fear Agent just going to go check the hint on the Spectacle Rock Cave, as well as grabbing the item, which just happens to be bombs today.
But we need those bombs to see the hint.
Okay, so the key situation on the left side of Meyer is normal. In fact, whoa, Buttersword, hello. Anyway, the way those were listed means that the big key is in its vanilla chest for Misery Mire.
I was hoping for a quick Meyer, but that's not happening today.
So yeah, this seed wanted you to be able to just destroy everything all the time.
And I thought this was supposed to be National Hanging Out Day, where we just hang out with everyone instead of destroying everyone.
Seems legit.
In the meantime, Sabotender is, well, you can tell right now, that's Spiral Cave.
Sabotender, of course, going through a downward spiral at the moment. But yes, just 20 rupees there, and that will basically do it for the Death Mountain area. Be kind of interesting to see Moon Pearl on Pyramid here.
Well, we are running out of logical locations before having to head into, Aga's Tower. We have King Zora, we have Eastern Palace, and I mean, we could fake Flipper, but that's technically out of logic to visit the bird lover under the bridge.
Let's be entirely fair here. King Zora's out of logic too. We don't have a lift upgrade, and we don't have flippers.
Oh, right.
One of those two.
Right, I misread my tracker there. It was showing a different color as a priority, and it threw me off.
Was that the single arrow up on the floating island?
I thought it was. And I think Chet is agreeing with you.
Well then.
Look on the bright side, we're knocking out some of the more annoying unique item locations, so at least if we ever see that type of hint, it will not be a letdown.
Yeah, if it says a unique item is in plain sight, we're like, yeah, sure, okay. Alright, P-Train activating that flute. So that's everybody with an active flute now. Looks like Sabotender is now, or no, Fear Agent, excuse me, is now heading over to Eastern. He's going to get that lamp. And I imagine he'll actually go into the dungeon. Sabotender, meanwhile, is heading into Escape, which he hasn't done yet. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him actually just go to Aga after this. It's here, and you gotta do it anyway.
We may have to do it, but Fear Agent may be the first to actually confirm whether we could have delayed Aga, at least Aga 1, until much later. The way a lot of runners like to handle all dungeons is they would like to ideally take care of all of the dungeons with the crystals and pendants, then go up Ganon's Tower in the Dark World, transport on top of the pyramid, mirror, take out Aga 1, and then you're back on top of the pyramid.
Yeah, that is ideally the best way to do things. But sometimes you don't have that choice.
And for those that have just joined into chat, yes, the golden sword was actually acquired at the 11-minute mark.
It's like it's back in V18 when all the swords weren't progressive. It's like you just get the gold one.
I don't ever remember trying out V18. I don't think I was, I mean, I think I heard of it, and I may have seen a match or two, but I definitely wasn't trying randos back then.
Yeah, there is one important point brought up in the chat by Brian there. It is a little bit annoying when you save and quit in the Dark World after beating Aga, and you have the mirror, because then you're just, I meant to go to the Light World. Give me a second. If I had a nickel for every time I've done that, I'd have like $50.
Alright, I had missed what a Fear Agent picked up in the, I always forget if that's the map chest or the compass chest in Eastern Palace.
I believe it's the map chest, and I don't think it was important. I saw it, and my mind didn't think to say anything.
Alright.
Alright, big key in the compass chest.
And Sabatender confirmed it was the map in the Dark Sewers.
Piece of heart in the big chest for Fear Agent, and we'll be heading over to the big key chest.
Alright, if this chest doesn't have what we're looking for, then that means Sabatender will be in the lead. But if there's ever a time to take out Aga, well, I mean, having a gold sword certainly helps. Almost every enemy should go down in one hit.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Even those ball and chain guards are just like, nope, you're dead. The only one who doesn't go down in one hit is Aga himself, mainly because, well, you can't hit him with the sword. Just a full heart in the big key chest of Eastern, so it looks like our progression may be sitting on the pyramid.
Looking at the inventories, though, for normal Dark World access, we need the Moon Pearl in order to use our items normally. We don't have a single glove, we don't have a hammer. So, what is the progression going to be?
Somebody said bow. That sounds good. Flippers could be a thing. That would get you over to Zora and all that stuff.
Flippers make sense.
Book?
Bow doesn't.
Book to get you to desert?
Book could work. I can picture book.
Yeah, bow doesn't actually make sense. That's right. You can't... The only thing you would get is Eastern, and we already have all three items in Eastern.
Exactly. So let's at least have another game. So Sabatender is approaching Aghanim. Aghanim fires red balls and blue balls, and lightning, but don't count the lightning. Assuming a perfect pattern where Sabatender hits every single red ball correctly, how many blue balls will be fired? Put in a number between 0 and 15, integers only, inclusive, and winner gets a shout out.
All right. The Aga fight begins. Yeah, hammer for magic bat, but that would just lead us to the same one item predicament.
Eh,
We're
oh
on
my-
2.
We're only in the first phase, and
3.
look at
We are
Aga!
on pace for perfect Aga, let me tell you.
Oh my
And by perfect, I mean perfectly awful.
Fortunately, after a lightning strike, you're always guaranteed a red ball.
Okay. No 15 today.
Well, I know another commentator that's disappointed in that.
Wow. So we got the 3 in the first part, and then it was over. So we're going to get another red ball, and that's going to do it. So just 3. The 3, of course, being the most common outcome.
So, that means, Disgusting NS, congratulations, you have been shouted out. Shout! Now, what's on that pyramid?
Glove. Alright, that is perfectly reasonable. The glove gives us access to King Zora and the Back of Escape. That is actually a grand total of 3 items, because we know the small key is going to be in the Back of Escape.
Alright, so here's the question. Zora or Back of Escape? Obviously, Back of Escape's easier to check. And so what will it be?
Moon Pearl and 10 arrows. So the Moon Pearl gives us access to basically everything. Well, not everything, but a whole lot of everything.
Well, we can use the Moon Pearl Glove and Hookshot to make our way over to Westside Dark World, so it's, it's close to everything.
Yep.
And I think Sabotender is thinking that same thing.
Yeah, West Dark World is currently the hottest spot on the map tracker if you were running it. Now, if Zora turns out to be something, that's going to be annoying for all of our runners. But I definitely don't disagree with the move to head to Dark World here. We are going to get a catfish check. In before catfish has the mirror, and we can just check Zora right now.
That would be rude. And all 3 of our other runners are currently dealing with Aga Tower. While, come on, Catfish. Will you be nice, or will you be trolling?
So the real difference here between our runners is that Sabotender made that early South Shore play and probably hasn't done Agina or Ice Rod Cave. And so he was able to take care of more in Kakariko Village without having to revisit it, and that's basically why he's ahead right now.
Yeah, the unorthodox South Shore early play paid off, especially with having all those bombs.
And I even get the feeling if he hadn't opened 300 rupees in that chest, he might have quit and went to Sank. But because he got the money, he had bombs, and then he was able to go. A double dip pod is a possibility. A lot of runners will skip out on that. So for those of you wondering, I don't know if anyone was wondering this, but so there on the pyramid you had the glove, and if you think about it, you can actually walk the bunny all the way to the entrance of Pod if you want to. The reason you can't go into Pod is because the monkey doesn't follow the bunny. And those are words you never expected to hear in that order.
Yeah, that's certainly a rare sentence. What's not rare is visiting Skull
Whoa!
Woods. There's the Titan's mitts!
Sabatender just making a beeline for the progression here. I mean, not saying there's anything suspicious about that. That's a perfectly reasonable play. He just got real lucky.
I normally enter with the compass drop first, but I mean, in this case, big chest route first. Nicely done, but unfortunately, compass route may have been a potential trap moment because we have to go all the way around just to get back.
Yeah. I like to go the way Sabatender does, because if there's a small key in that first chest, you can just go to the left side and not have to worry about dropping down.
And thanks to Goomba's map check, we can confirm that Palace of Darkness and Turtle Rock are our other pendants. Not that, that's gonna matter too much, unless, of course, we need that pedestal.
Well, my flippers in GT dream is dead, but there you go. I mean, we are going to have to beat those dungeons for sure. So we probably are going to have, and I mean, this is just super likely at this point already. Ice Rod in Ganon's Tower. It's a thing. It's probably going to happen.
Well, we may encounter Ice Rod, or perhaps even Flippers on the pedestal. There are plenty of locations that our runners don't like to visit.
Well, you won't find Ice Rod on pedestal, but
Oh, right, not Ice Rod this time. But Flippers there would still be annoying. And I think we're leaving one item behind in Skull Woods right now. Meantime, Goomba is going to visit the Waterfall of the Wishing, taking advantage of the fake flipper trick, but just get some money out of it.
well, I guess Sabatender might have found Vanilla Big Key, because he's going for the big key chest. The big chest.
I did miss that.
Oh no, he got the big key from the left side. Oh! Okay. Skull Woods. My goodness. Skull Woods just completely packed. What is this, V27?
I don't know anymore. In the meantime, King Zora has just 5 rupees and the ledge had nothing of worth either.
Wait, sorry, V26. V26 was the one where you go to Skull Woods every time.
It was one of them.
Alright, so yeah. And of course, with those flippers in hand, we know, I guess the flippers will be on foot, but you get the idea. We know that you will be able to get those boots off of the island once the mirror is acquired, of course.
Yeah, the mirror is the big item to watch for right now. It may be possible that we don't need the boots, but they're very useful to have.
Oh yeah, as soon as the mirror is acquired by one of our runners, I expect them to head to Dark Lake Hylia as quickly as possible. We did find an additional bottle in Thieves' Town for Sabatender. We also found a shovel in the Sea House.
Well, who knows? Maybe we have to unearth our treasure here.
At least it has haste. Let's see. Sorry, bad jokes.
We're both bad in the bad joke department. It's fine.
All right, P-Train picks up the Titan's Myths. Now, so Sabotender attempted to do the bomb jump to the big chest early on, I saw, and if he manages to beat... Oh, looks like P-Train actually went to the back first as well, so it's not going to be a problem. Just there's one scenario here where you don't have to visit the back at all and you have all the items. Though you will have to visit the back, of course, to finish it.
Yeah, joys of all dungeon seeds, they all have to be taken out, so, in this case, we will not argue a double dip of Skullwoods. Now, I did not see Sabotender go for the hint in Thieves Town. When it comes to this dungeon, do you usually go for that hint tile?
I usually do, because I'm paranoid. I like to know things. But there are different schools of thought on that. I'm one of those people who started going to Ice Palace a little earlier just because there's 3 hints.
I mean, that's admittedly fair, plus, I am superstitious of Pendant Ice Palace. There's almost always something there. Oh, and, by the way, oh, Treasure Chest game. Sorry, I was also trying to follow chat as well. Treasure Chest had nothing. King Zora and Zora Ledge had nothing of importance.
Alright, Fear Agent also picking up the flippers.
While Sabotender is going to pick up a maiden, kind of, sort of. Oh! I just realized something. We're leaving an item behind on Thieves Town.
Yeah, I haven't actually been counting real hard, so it might be one of the dungeon items, but I don't know for sure.
We are leaving an item behind as Blind gives us yet another terrible pun. So, if I've counted everything correctly, Blind will have item 3 and item 4 is on the big chest, but to get that big chest, we need the hammer. And to my knowledge, Blind cannot drop that.
Okay, so no, Blind didn't have item 3 or 4, but I think that does mean that there is an item in the big chest, because I think I saw the compass earlier.
Okay, then that means I miscounted one.
I could be making that up. I'm gonna pay a little more attention with P-Train here.
Yeah, in this case, I'll accept that I was probably right for the wrong reasons. Regardless, Sabotender... technically that's second blood because Aga 1 was taken out already. I don't recall seeing anything important in the brewery. Well, okay, Heart Container is still useful while... Hello there, Goomba!
Goomba found the hammer
in
Mire Shed. What is up with that? We do have access to it. It's a very interesting play to go there before heading to Thieves Town.
Not just that, but that hammer also lets us go to Tower of Hera right now. But in the meantime, Sabotender is visiting Dampe in the grave digging game.
I think you got your games mixed up there.
Maybe, but I admit I never completely accepted the other name for the digging keeper. Oh, that tile hint was useless.
Oh boy.
Alright. We are about to give the bullfrog that used to be the dwarf a bit of a world tour right now.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Sabatender is going to go check Stumpy. You wish you had a mirror here so that you could do your digging.
I'll be honest, I was waiting for Stumpy to have that mirror right there.
Okay, yeah, there's the compass. So yeah, there is an item in the big chest of Thieves Town. We can confirm. And Goomba will be the one runner who can clear this place out on the first go. It's a very interesting play to go into Skull Woods, get those Titans mitts and flippers, and then decide, you know what? I'm gonna go check Mire Shed. Just in case the hammer's there.
This
I mean,
seed...
it's not a bad play because going into Thieves Town without the hammer is terrible.
I mean, I get that as well, but at the same there's been a lot of interesting plays here. Also, Hype Cave has no hype whatsoever. 0 out of 10.
Yep, Hype Cave garbage.
I admit, I generally have, generous scores for Hype Cave. Not this time.
Like, if it has like a heart container, I'll give it a 1. But no, get out.
Exactly.
Those chests might as well not have existed.
Perhaps the real value is bringing the blacksmith home. And we have all the money we need for it. Just deposit 10 rupees, and we get ourselves a hotly forged heart container.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, Sabotender wanted to visit the magic bat, but no dice there. Instead,
Well, he's about to have dice.
Is he about to have dice, roll dice, or throw them?
I mean, I imagine if he's going to throw the dice, it's probably going to be in anger.
No, Sabotender has that hammer, keeping their cool.
Alright, Fear Agent also going to go pick up that heart container. P-Train grabbing the smith as well. And Goomba is almost about to show us what that hammer has in store.
And in the meantime, Sabotender thinking about Super Bunny and Hookshot Cave.
Yeah? I imagine we might see him go to Tower of Hera first. Just because he's not going into the portal immediately.
That does make sense, no mirror, and this way you get to avoid a separate trip. And now Fear Agent is about to get their hammer.
Goomba switching to the hammer. We are about to see what's left behind.
Alright. Will it be a life lesson, love lesson, or wait, this isn't King Zora, but at times it right now feels like it. Out of the way location.
Whoa!
Oh, Quake! Sorry about
Quake
that, but
medallion.
that's required for Misery Mire.
Oh my. Wow.
Yeah.
So you had to go to Misery Mire area to get the hammer, to go into Thieves Town to get Quake, to go back to Misery Mire.
Yes.
Thanks, Seed. Thanks a lot.
Again, I'm sorry for the high-pitched shriek there, but I don't think anyone was expecting Quake there.
Well, I would say that, you know, unless certain people's plays go certain ways, that probably just kind of by default puts Goomba in a massive lead.
Also, we were talking about this earlier. We just saw a hint that said a unique item was in plain sight.
Lol. Though that also probably refers to the boots. That could be the boots hint. Because there's a guaranteed boots hint.
That is true. So far, we found one item in Tower of Hera, but both keys are up front, so Sabotender is hoping that we don't need to go down to the basement. And Moldorm down. And unless I've counted, we have to visit the basement.
Yep.
Meantime, Goomba is visiting MC Hammer's vault. We haven't seen this yet, and we're just gonna leave the money behind.
Oh, Sabotender hadn't even actually gotten that small key yet, so he still had hope.
Yeah, Fear Agent actually got that key straight away. But in this case, well, we get to relax a little bit. Meantime, Goomba's just having a carefree life digging at insert name here's a grave digging game.
See now, my brain, because you said you're not really on board with a certain name, but my brain is now thinking if they ever did an Ocarina of Time movie, they should get Alec Baldwin to play Dompe. I don't know if they could, but it'd be funny.
Also, Bo was in Tower of Hera basement.
Ooh. Yeah, definitely don't want to leave that one behind.
Well, we can now finish off Eastern
like
and...
Fear Agent did leave it behind, which is unfortunate.
Oh no, Fear Agent did. So,
alright, we see Bombos required for Turtle Rock today.
That's 2 item locations that are going to trip our runners up today. The Easttown Big Chest and Hera Basement. Goomba is not going to fall for any of those, most likely. Well, very least, not going to fall for the Easttown Big Chest.
Hey, there's Bombos.
Right outside the
and
door.
the Cane of Samaria.
Also right outside the door.
I was like, well, we do kind of need the cane before we can do anything in Turtle Rock. Oh. Never mind.
Alright, so maybe exploring Turtle Rock early is the key right now. Who knows?
The problem is you don't have the mirror, so you'd have to save and quit and climb all the way back up.
And with the way this seed is treating us, we probably have a lot more double dips in the future. Uh-oh. Alert, alert. Bow abandoned by P-Train. Alert, alert. Super Bunny. Oh, there's our 3rd bottle.
Yep,
While
and free blue potion, I'm certainly not saying no.
while Goomba's hoping for na heart container.
All right. Na big love. Anyway.
I should do that one next time, thank you.
Oh, Sankheart, apparently.
That's even bigger love.
Biggest love.
Technically true. Alright, Sahasrara, what do you give us? Wow, the other unique item of 100 rupees. So, Sahasrara is guarding Kiki the monkey?
Something to that effect, yeah. He at least has a refund.
In the meantime, Fear Agent is going to be the first to tell us what the bird lover has. And just so it's clear, my reference is based off of Link Between Worlds.
Okay. I get it. So yeah, Sabotender. I think Sabotender actually hasn't been in Eastern at all, so this is going to be his first trip through. But he's actually going to be able to clear it, so that helps.
And in the meantime, Goombas is heading to Hera. Will we get a full clear out of them? And for reference, the reason I said that the 100 rupee one was unique, that's the only 100 rupee one in the pool. Also, Fear Agents in Ice. This sounds like a type of play you've mentioned before.
Yep. Though some cash is underwater is not a great hint.
Alright, Ice Palace, 3 items inside. Plus, it's a pyramid crystal, so we may need the pyramid.
Alright, so just a compass in the first chest of ice. We're going to see Sabotender pick up the big key here. Now, he could skip the big key chest, but it would be... It does contain an item, so he'd just get a... like, one of the dungeon items off the boss, and so he might be tempted to come back in. He is skipping the big chest.
Yeah, big key chest being left alone. I believe it only had a piece of heart, but this is technically a gamble. But at the same time, if we look at the items that we have almost everything we need to finish the game already.
Yeah, we need fire and ice rods. And, ether. Or no, not ether, Quake. He needs Quake. And it's going to take a long time before he finds that Quake.
Yeah.
Also need the mirror, of course, yes.
Yeah, mirror, fire rod, ice rod, and, you know, the Quake and Fear Agent's case, Bombos and Goomba's case.
Yeah, Goomba's about to get Bombos. And also the bow, apparently.
Alright, so that's 2 out of 4 runners who will have learned the Archer class. While, ooh! I forgot that those pots had some health. Fear Agent taking advantage of it, because if you're not careful, the enemies can get you here. But at the same time, we have powder, so that should make things easier. P-Train also thinking about ice.
Meanwhile, Sabotender with that bow looks like he's headed to Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, Palace of Darkness does make sense. 5 items can full clear it right now. Okay, that's probably the best location to find the big key in Ice Palace, but Fear Agent not going for it yet.
Yeah. If you do this mess, you can go to the right-hand side, grab a key, do this again to get to Iced Tea Room, and then never have to go through the other stuff. Thanks a lot, game.
Actually, I don't recall if Fear Agent turned in the green pendant, so that may have been useful.
Well, okay. I know somebody's turned it in.
I think that was Sabotender.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, from a commentary perspective, I completely understand. This seed is having fun with us today on this impromptu pre-holiday/holiday celebration here. And
Fear Agent just wanting to unload every single pot on that Stalfos Knight there.
Well, may have also wanted to get some health. Even with blue mail, Cold Stare can hurt.
Yeah, we can powder to help that out a bit, but that of course costs you magic. Now we will only need a quarter of the magic bar to get through Cold Stare's shell, and of course there will be no other magic used in that fight because we don't have the fire rod.
Alright, first item in Ice Palace, if I saw it correctly, 10 arrows.
So now Fear Agent is falling down and is going to head to Ice Tea this direction. Can actually refill his health in the next room if he wants to by powdering that bottom pot, but it's not happening. Yeah, I would say Goomba is definitely at an advantage here due to his Quake medallion. Everybody else is going to have to redip Thieves Town, and I'm not going to lie, after going through Thieves Town, that is basically the last thing on my priority list.
In the meantime, we had to go the long way in Palace of Darkness just to get one key. And we've only found one item so far, and that being Ether. And yeah, Ice Palace so far is empty. I've only seen 2 of the items so far, but they are not worth it.
Yeah, the Ice Palace play looking pretty grim right now, and the hints aren't doing as much good either. Though they may save you a trip to Saha's Rala.
And okay, according to chat, I had missed one of them, and that would explain why I missed it, because there were 2 10 arrow upgrades here. Or not upgrades, ammo refills.
Alright, Fear Agent has destroyed the Cold Stare. The gold sword makes that pretty easy. Sabotender has managed to blow open the wall for the big chest there. I don't know if we'll see him do a hammer jump or not, but we'll see.
Right, Pod Money Room. We don't need to collect the money, but we'll certainly take whatever is inside. Ah, that's where the big key is. Alright, the remaining chests in Pod should have unique items. Or at the very least, if not unique items, non-dungeon items. In the meantime, Fear Agent back in the Thieves Town area. Or Village of Outcasts, technically.
Interesting. Oh, he's going for it.
Fear Agent suspected something, and he's about to be proven right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Fear Agent, apparently never went to the back of Thieves Town. Sabatender set up a death warp there.
It makes sense. No one wants to go all the way back around the dark maze just to, when you can usually save time and get a health refill, just taking the death from the Kodongos.
Which, for those of you keeping score at home, is Japanese for baby Dodongo.
So that's what it meant. I just thought it was well, okay, I was thinking it was maybe a relative, but we'll take it.
Yeah. It's actually like a portmanteau of the words Kodomo and Dodongo, which is Kodomo is child, so close enough.
Dr. Bub with the knowledge, everyone.
I'm a huge nerd. Can you tell?
I think most of us here are qualify. Now, Goomba did get the hammer yump successfully.
Yep. And then using that to leave the dark maze without having to do a death warp. So he'll be heading directly to the back, ideally not passing go or collecting $200. Though he did collect probably around $200 in that rupee room.
Let's see if I take a look at this. Second prize in beauty pageant, collect 10 rupees. Dang it!
Good call.
Time to take out the Helmasaur King. Yeah, with
down he goes.
Yeah, Hammer and Gold Sword makes Helmasaur King easy to deal with. Just for a downgrade.
Alright, Fear Agent picks up the Quake Medallion. And so, Fear Agent has Quake, but no Bow. Sabatender has Bow, but no Quake. Goomba is the only one of our runners with both of those items.
Yeah, I mean, Palace of Darkness only had the pendant of value, but the big key was tucked very far away. Speaking of key, what's inside the chest we can't open? The bug net.
Seems legit.
So, right now, we're running out of locations. So, we have, we've taken care of... Oh my gosh, if I'm looking at this correctly, by logic, and I may have my logic kind of off, we can access most of Turtle Rock. We can full clear Mire. Is Spike Cave considered in logic, or is it a sequence break right now?
Spike Cave is currently a sequence break. Because we don't have either of the invincibility items. It does require that you have one of those to be in logic. And then if it's the cape, it also requires a bottle or half magic, but we do have a bottle, so.
Well, there we go, folks. We've already eliminated the vast majority of locations so far.
And so when you say that most of Turtle Rock is accessible, it actually depends on where the keys lie. Because that right side of Turtle Rock is fire rod locked, of course.
That is true, but it could also be one of those strange seeds. Also, thank you, Goomba, for confirmation. Boots on Lake Hylia Island. It could be one of those strange seeds where keys are set up for us to access Laser Bridge. We get Fire Rod in Laser Bridge, but have to use it to get the big key back in the double torch room.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say that Turtle Rock climbs are not known for being fun.
Alright, Fear Agent has the Quake Medallion and looks like he's gonna head to Misery Mire. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of expecting like Fire Rod in here, or something like that.
Right. I was mixing up, I think I was mixing up part of my modes there. Yeah, we do need a big key to access Laser Bridge, but we may still need to... Oh, I know, I was thinking of a strange Plando-based seed where we needed something else that was in the, in that section. Never mind.
Yeah, so it is possible for the Fire Rod to be on Laser Bridge, but it requires a very, very specific arrangement of keys.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. It was Fire Rod to go to Laser Bridge to get the final small key to go up there. That was it. It is possible. It's annoying if it happens.
It is a good Friday for a rando race.
Yeah, as I said, we're covering all the different holidays that are available today, both the traditional and non-traditional. For those that enjoy it, happy early Easter, by the way.
Mirror on the bridge in Misery Mire. So that's really annoying because one of the silly things people like to do there occasionally is try to hover that gap, and that mirror is required to get the boots.
I don't think it's worth double dipping for that. Besides, didn't we already get the hint that the big key is fire locked anyway?
Yeah, we know where the big key is. It's in its vanilla chest. If I read the hint right.
And I think Fear Agent just wants that key right here and now. Can't blame him. And yep, it is vanilla big key today.
Yeah, the hints like that, the hint for left side mire, left side swamp, the order in which the items are listed corresponds to an ordering of the chests. I'm not entirely certain all the time, but I'm pretty sure the first one is the vanilla big key chest here, and the second one is the compass chest.
I never noticed that order before. But, you know, it could have an order, it may not. Chat is a little confused. And
Yeah,
what's the hint
every
up
time
there?
I've seen it, it's always been that way.
Come on, game! Seriously?
Sorry about the outburst there, but my goodness, that was the best hint I've ever seen.
And I thought seeing Tower of Hera Big Key Firelocked and Tower of Hera on the top tile was bad. This seed is giving everyone the runaround.
Yeah, the hint in Misery Mire was the magic mirror is in Misery Mire.
And Thieves Town Big Chest today had the Quake Medallion, which we need to enter Misery Mire.
Yeah, mercifully, the only real wrong turn that people can make right now is going into Turtle Rock early. And that could be a very quick trip. Luckily, the mirror is locked in Mire, so you're not going to get debated by all of those one-off mirror locations.
And Vitreous will have our final item.
I imagine the next destination for Fear Agent, though, is probably going to be Swamp. And the problem with that is it doesn't have the bow. And he's left it behind, and it's really, really sad.
Well, there are still 6 item checks. We may get the Fire or Ice Rod in there. Which reminds me, for those that like to hope for pedestal seeds, only the Fire Rod can be on there in order for us to have something of, well, logical value, unless
Fire Rod can't be there, Turtle Rock is a pendant.
Right. Only silver arrows if you really care that much, then.
Yeah.
I am not used to, yeah, it is strange to see pendant TR like this, but I guess that's how it goes. And I was correcting myself as I went there. Technically, silver arrows are required by logic. It is considered a sequence break to not use them.
Yeah. That being said, like, you know, technically the way you do the in the logic it is everything is required for Ganon. Like, the logic makes sure that everything can be reached before you have to fight Ganon.
Do we really need to care about the mushroom?
I mean, no, but you could.
Fair enough. Vitreous goes down for Fear Agent. Well, there's
Cape.
our spike. There's our spike cave access, and bumper
Yep.
cave access.
Also, Cape on Vitreous is hilarious, because a lot of people like to use Cape strats on Vitreous.
This seed is giving everyone a little bit of giggles and throwing everything off. So where is Fear Agent going? Yep, I think you're right. This may be a Swamp Palace play.
Yep, Swamp is imminent, as they would say. Though, I'm not gonna lie, I might have considered doing Desert after leaving Mire. But, he's gonna go get the boots. And then he might go do Desert. I guess that's the idea. You go get the boots, and then you can do Swamp or Desert or whatever you need to.
Yeah, this way we don't have to worry about what's on the torch.
And it looks like he's going to go make some checks up here at Zora. I think he hasn't done the waterfall. I think that's going.
Unfortunately, Waterfall of Wishing and King Zora. Maybe nice to get some nature and prepare for Chemist Celebrate Earth Week, but unfortunately, not worth it here.
Well, Sabatender, it does look like he is making the one wrong turn he can make, heading up to Turtle Rock. We'll see how baited you can get by Turtle Rock, because like if the fire rod's in there, then you're gonna get quite baited.
Well, Goomba's just picked up the Misery Mire Magic Mirror. Seriously over there? What a bunch of malarkey.
My.
Now, let's not forget that there is a tile hint at the start of Turtle Rock. It may give us some information.
A unique item requires the hammer. So, requires the hammer refers to a very specific set of places. Some of that is... So there's Helmasaur King, there's most of Swamp, there's Left Side GT, and I think that's it. Spike Cave. Fire Rod in Bonk Rocks, looks like.
Can't say I was expecting that, but... Now we're just an Ice Rod away from Go Mode. Which, you know, it can't be on Pedestal. It could be in Ganon's Tower, though.
Yeah, Turtle Rock is hammerlocked in this mode, but not in every mode, and they made the hints compatible with every mode.
Also, I had missed what was in King's Tomb and first chest of Turtle Rock. Well, P-Train's about to confirm the latter.
Just a compass, so it is over, and Sabatender has sniffed out the answer. It is in the big chest of Thieves Town, and we do confirm that Desert Palace does require the boots, so good call to go get those boots before heading.
Alright, there are still 2 items remaining here. And for those that have just tuned in late, quick little rundown. This is the Link to the Past Randomizer daily race. Today is open mode all dungeons, which means all dungeons along with AGA 1 and AGA 2 have to be taken out. Our featured 4 amongst a field of about 30 or so include Fear Agent, P-Train, Sabatender, and Goomba, Fear Agent now picking up the Red Mill. I am Wolfman2000, I am joined on the mic by Dr. Podtastic. And we also have 2 wonderful trackers. They are literally Jen and Demensive. Please give all of the mentioned people a follow, as this has been a good race and they certainly appreciate it.
Well, thank you for that. Meanwhile, we've got Goomba heading to finish off Misery Mire, going to pick up that cape, which could end up being required for, or logically required anyway, for an ice rod at Spike Cave. Yeah, so basically all we're missing for actual go mode is that ice rod.
Which means, do you remember those lyrics?
Yeah. I mean, I could do Where in the World's the Godforsaken Ice Rod.
It's your call, but that's effectively the type of mode we're in right now. We don't know where it is, and, well, it can literally be anywhere.
Right.
Just not the big chest of thieves, though.
The reason I don't want to actually do the song on stream is just because it's so long, and we have a race to commentate.
That's fair.
But I might post the link if somebody wants to.
I say go for it. And then, just participate in a World Hula Week and just dance to it. I don't know. Alright, Desert Palace taken out by Fear Agent, but, he wants to go to Checkerboard Cave. Which, I just missed it on Goomba's side. But yeah, the important part, chat, if you're wondering what we're talking about, all you need to know is, where in the world's the gosh-forsaken Ice Rod? If you can't tell the tune by that, my apologies, I am known for occasionally being tone deaf. Now, with Ice Palace and Desert Palace taken out, we do have access to the Pyramid Fairy, and those two chests. However, Fear wants Swamp Palace first.
Yep. Swamp Palace has quite a few items. It is the most item-dense location, and I will be fair, while I don't like to go into Swamp for a lot of items, when the Ice Rod is what I'm looking for, that all bets are off. It's just like, it's literally just as likely to be in any one location as any other, and so you just go for density.
Well, perhaps this tile will give us an idea.
Well, that helps. Now we know we don't have to go to left side swamp.
The game helped? Like, genuinely helped. Right at the front door.
That is best possible swamp hint right there. Not even kidding.
Well, that's already 3 items knocked out of the books.
Yeah, I did say way back when we found out that Turtle Rock was the pendant, that the Ice Rod was going to be in GT. Like, it's just super likely. The boots were right there on the island where P-Train just picked them up.
We seriously have to play 2 different guessing games once we go up Ganon's Tower. I just don't know what we're gonna do here.
I mean, we could have people take, just mention 2 numbers at once, and if you land them both, you win.
As long as we can keep up with which number's what, but for now,
well, don't even worry about it. Just you pick 2 numbers, and if one of them is the big key and the other one is the Ice Rod, you win.
Alright, big key to Swamp Palace is either in back half or locked inside that big chest. Unfortunately, the Master of Unlocking is only available for the purple chest, and so we're going to hope that that big chest gets to stay closed.
I feel like you've been doing a bit of Ocarina of Time Randomizer recently.
Maybe.
I remember you were doing one of those multi-world things the other day. Apparently, that's a thing for Link to the Past now, too.
It is right now in effectively a closed beta, but it would be nice to see here on the Speed Gaming family of networks once some of the bugs are taken out. There's the big key, but
And
Fear Agent is going to, leave that chest for now.
Yeah, I kind of think that's a decent idea, unless like he finds the compass here.
Oh?
Multi-world, for those of you who don't know, is an idea where the items for multiple games are they're mixed among different seeds. So like you pick up an item and it could be like someone else's hookshot. And so you have to play networked, so there has to be a connection between you. But yeah, it's an interesting concept.
That it is. Alright, Argus, will you have our final item, or do we have to go back to that big chest? Goomba checking big chest right now! Oh, and it was the hurt container over there. Argus is just the compass.
Right, so we may see Fear Agent come back into Swamp Palace for that particular reason.
Okay, you're right, I was thinking of the Super Metroid Link to the Past combo that had it. Standard Link to the Past doesn't have a multi-world beta yet, to my knowledge, though it should.
I didn't know that the combo randomizer had it. That sounds ridiculous, and I love it.
Such is the nature of Rando. Take the knowledge you may have learned from your vanilla games and execute them in ways you've never done them before. Unless, of course, you play these every single day.
Alright, and P-Train is also going to go ahead and go for the big chest immediately, using certain strats to avoid being eaten by the staircase. Sabatender picking up the boots, so he is in the same situation now as Goomba, with the downside of having not completed Swamp yet.
While Fear Agent is checking out the VT cave. And it's just ammo. We are running out of locations. So for frame of reference, right now we have a Pyramid Fairy, we have Graveyard Ledge, we have Bumper Cave. I haven't seen what item was up there. We have Spike Cave, and we cannot access Mimic Cave, actually. We are... Well, actually, we can access Mimic Cave because we have the Fire Rod, so... But we are running low.
Alright, so Fear Agent going to the Pyramid Fairy. As he was the first of our runners to pick up both 5-6 crystals. He's attempting to get a dash off of the Popo there. Or not Popo, that's Ropa. Yeah. He's getting the bomb dupe going. Oh, and it didn't work.
Can you explain this duplication glitch? I know I've seen it a few times, but I don't fully get it.
So the idea is you would transition you would screen transition when the timer hits 0, and it causes the bomb to reappear following you.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I called Ice Rod and GT a long time ago. I just feel like I just felt like it was inevitable. It's gonna happen.
Well, let's at least see. We haven't seen what's inside the pyramid yet. Fear is going to be the first in order to get in there. And so, number 1, big 20. Number 2, big bombs.
That'll
Not
be
there.
it.
So the next best location, well, let's see. Yeah, Fear Agent does need to take care of Palace of Darkness. Makes sense. But we are running out of some locations here. Meantime, Sabatender, yeah, maybe take care of while you're here. I mean, it's not like the pedestal will have anything useful. So, just so it's clear, Fear Agent can access every single item with the exception of King Helmasaur's item.
That is correct. Assuming he does the potion glitch on the right-hand side, or hovers to the chest, which is possible.
Right, sequence breaks necessary to get every single thing. But if we don't do the sequence breaks, we can't get in. And King's Tomb, I had missed what this was earlier, just a piece of heart. So for the asking, the bow was located in Tower of Hera basement, and the fire rod was located in Sanctuary Bunk Rocks.
Oh, I was gonna say that there was some discussion of doing like vanilla NMG, but with all the randomizer fixes. And I was like, yeah, you used to just be able to generate a vanilla seed by typing vanilla as your seed, but they don't have a seed field anymore.
Also, there was that glitch we were talking about earlier. Fear Agent managed to use a potion, cause some camera manipulation, and basically cause the gorilla to, go away.
Yeah, so Garden Mega for both of the items in Skullwoods have actually already been located. They just need to beat the dungeon. In fact, both of the items in Skullwoods were particularly useful. One was the Titan's Mitts and the other one was the Flippers. I still just love the Vitreous Cape drop. It's basically the best.
You mean best in terms of trolling?
Correct. I mean, the silvers aren't even remotely available. We have no idea where those are.
And green pendant was checked. That was just 100 rupees. Alright, both Goomba and Sabotender are going to take out Mothula, and then they both have one additional crystal dungeon to take out before entering Ganon's tower.
I suppose trolling does technically require some sort of, like, awareness on the part of whoever's doing the trolling. So I guess you may be correct.
The seed generator knows, Bob. The seed generator knows.
I mean, there could be some AI in there. I don't know. You'll have to ask AA. No, there's not.
Alright, Goomba's the first to get 6 crystals, Sabotender following suit shortly. Fear Agent will catch up in just a little bit. But again, both Fear Agent and P-Train need that bow back in Hera. And Pyramid Fury today, it held Bupkis.
Well, there's that red mail for P-Train over in Desert. We, of course, have basically all of the safeties we can. Just don't have any silvers. I would be particularly keen to find at this moment. Alright, Fear Agent has decided to head up to Death Mountain, which means we may see him go for the Turtle Rock check, and then a check over to Hera eventually to get that.
Maybe. In the meantime, did anyone check out what was on Bumper Cave? Because I did not see it yet on any of our featured 4.
I want to think somebody looked at it. And I want to think I didn't see anything important.
Okay, thank you to our tracker, Dimensive. We confirm Bumper Cave is... Whoa, out there. Bumper Cave, nothing of importance.
And I mean, the thing with all dungeons is skipping little optional locations like that is one of the few ways to really gain an advantage in a situation where everybody has to do everything. But not skipping it is another way to gain an advantage if it turns out to have something. So it's just all about the probabilities and whether you think you can afford to skip it or not.
Alright, folks, let me at least give the number range before you start putting in numbers here. So, we are looking for not only the big key to Ganon's tower, but we are also looking for that gosh-forsaken ice rod. For the big key, please put in a number between 1 and 22, integers only inclusive. For the ice rod, let's see, we have 27, 32, 33, 34, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want to say 38 potential locations for the ice rod.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're also counting Turtle Rock and I guess Spike Cave?
Yep. So... Actually, will the numbering system even work in this case if Fear Agent gets some of them first? I don't know anymore.
Yeah, I think we just stick to the big key game, but still. It's kind of hilarious.
Oh, okay, you know what? We'll take Pink Kitty Rose's idea in chat. If you think it's outside of Ganon's tower, just go with 28.
Seems legit.
It's going to be very interesting to keep up with the numbers, though. And of course...
I agree, it is definitely a check tool. That is correct.
Oh gosh, I just realized something. Goomba may end up just going into Turtle Rock? Never mind. Okay, I was getting a little worried there.
Now, he's opening up Turtle Rock, but you definitely want to go into Ganon's Tower if you can.
Fear with the nice powder usage. As Goomba is the first of our featured 4 to enter GT.
Alright, welcome to Ganon's Tower. Going left to start with. A little unorthodox, but still fine. We get the small key. By the way, speaking of small keys, or speaking of Ganon's Tower, you know what I was appalled to find out the other day? Because I did the first combo randomizer I've done in months. They fixed Bob.
In what way?
Like, I left the item on the torch and Bob didn't show up.
Oh. Yeah, talk to Total. Anyway, Dark Magician strategies for Goomba as we've opened up 5 chests, didn't find what we were looking for. While Fear is now in Mimic Cave.
Oh, okay. Half magic in Mimic Cave. I mean, I'm okay with it. I certainly wouldn't be, like, super opposed to it.
I wouldn't either. P-Train about to get the fire rod.
There's our book.
Oh, that's a bit evil. I mean, book at 10. And we may have to consider stepping outside. But Goomba is staying in.
Ice Rod on one of those tablets is interesting. Now, to be fair, if I find the big key in here and I've cleared out the basement, I think before I go up Ganon's Tower, I go outside and check Ether Tablet.
I completely understand where you're coming from.
Never mind!
GT Ice Rod confirmed at the 1 hour 38 minute 39 second mark. Goomba is officially in go mode.
So that's, I believe, chest number 11?
No, that would be... Let me see. Torch, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
12, okay. Yeah, 12.
So, let's scroll up and see if I still have the chat log on hand.
Yeah, basically the only one of the runners here that didn't get annihilated by Thieves Town Big Chest was Goomba, who decided after picking up the Titan's Mitts and Flippers from Skull Woods to quickly go check Mire Shed before heading into Thieves Town.
Alright, so... we only had a single number check here. Also, I missed entirely what was on Laser Bridge during that, but couldn't have been anything of importance. We did find the 4th bottle in the rando room, though. And we are still looking for the big key. So, I didn't see anyone guess 12 specifically for the Ice Rod, so I don't know if I can award a winner, but the Big Key game is still on.
I didn't see this. In the room before Rando Room, was there a small key in that chest?
I want to say yes, but unfortunately, I did not catch that.
Okay, so Tile Room is a small key.
Oh, no, hold on. According to chat, it was a map.
Yeah, if it was a map, then Tile Room is a small key. I think. Unless they've changed the logic.
In other words, you're saying it's going to be chest 19, 20, or 21. Because that's where we are right now. 19, piece of heart. 20, there's the last shield. 21, well, there's our big key. And Goomba is leaving.
Why? Oh, he's just gonna finish Turtle Rock, of course.
Yeah, you don't want to have to come back up here.
You don't have to reclimb the thing.
So we didn't have to worry about Spike Cave today, or the tablets. The book was just a a bait item, let's say. Alright, Chad, hopefully I used a better word choice there.
I have been told by certain runners and factions that the book is always bait. And it used to be that the book actually was always bait, unless it was access for desert. But now that has been remedied.
Oh, fun fact, Goomba actually never went into Turtle Rock at first, so in this case, Goomba can go mode this place, as Fear Agent now finds the bow.
Ugh. That's a little unfortunate for Fear Agent. This late in the game, pulling that one off, but he can at least go and clear out Eastern and Pod. That will give him a clear route to get to Ganon's Tower.
Oh, speaking of, we never awarded a winner yet. Tito, you were the one who guessed 21 for the big key, so congratulations. Normally I have a prize prepared, but Dr. Bob, you're better at that than I am.
Well, I've never prepared a prize for that in my life. I don't know what you're talking about. But
I thought you usually had something.
But if you
Oh,
if
it's mixing up my commentators. I thought you wasn't it?
It's like I think JTN usually has one. Some other people. But
yeah,
an unlimited supply of rando seeds is definitely something you can get. That's for sure.
That's my normal one. Sorry, I was trying to set you up with a different commentator shtick there. My apologies. We'll get this figured out. In the meantime, what was on Laser Bridge anyway? Oh, more health? More health? Well, part of health. A trip to the Abyss, which we immediately refund.
I have found out the hard way that you really, really, really don't want to get hit when you fall off and you're already dead here on Laser Bridge.
What happens in that case?
It hard locks the game. Screen goes black, doesn't respond to input. It's great. Music keeps playing.
So wait, you get knocked out by the red bumper creature, fall in the pit, but your hitbox still gets hit by it. And you're taking...
Well, it's getting hit by the lasers, what you'll usually get hit by.
Ah.
And it's Japanese 1.0 exclusive because you can still get hit while falling.
I'm going to ask a silly question. Is there a way to update this rando so that we can keep the useful glitches, like fake flippering, and remove the fall damage glitch? Because to my knowledge, that glitch is not useful for anything.
I actually think they might be related. That being said, I don't think there's any intent to change the underlying mechanics like that.
So in other words, it's just something you have to be careful of.
Useful for Dark World Bomb Fake Flipper. Yeah.
Oh, so the splash... So the splash to move transition is the same logic as falling into a pit. It's that same area.
Entirely possible, yeah.
Oh. Also, Spiky Cave. P-Train is in Spiky Cave. Once it caught some type of stuff, we know it's not good enough. Look out, Big 20 on Spiky Cave.
Okay. I've heard that song used for Spiral Cave, never for Spike Cave. I'm on board for it this time though.
Alright, Goomba has finally taken out Trinex and thus is about to ascend Ganon's tower. Please do not put in any numbers because we've already found the big key.
I mean, you can put in numbers, but they wouldn't really mean anything.
Up Ganon's tower we go.
Okay. Let's see. So, Fear Agent taking out Eastern Palace finally. That's going to get him that crystal. It doesn't have the Skull Woods crystal either, so there's going to be that.
And, we did find a Cane of Burna. According to Chad, Trinex had it.
Aha! So, paging Brian, we found your cane.
Well, honestly, when it comes to this gauntlet, honestly, there are times when I just prefer good old-fashioned bombos.
Oh yeah, Bombo strats are quite useful, especially in certain other modes like Enemizer or Oko mode, when you just cannot bother getting wrecked on the way up. The strats seems good.
Alright, Goomba... Oh, unfortunately, the Landmos were diving in a little too quickly to allow for one cycle, but 2 cycle is not bad at all.
So when I have the gold sword, one of my favorite strats in that room is to just kind of wait a little bit in the first room so they all spawn at the same time, and then I just spin them in the middle. And that hits them once, and then you just try to slash them all down.
Certainly not a bad idea.
I don't know why, but I call I don't think he was the one to originate it, but I learned the strat from Willard, so I call it Willard strats.
Joys of this community, we are all helping each other and occasionally giving each other a hard time. Alright, Goomba fortunately has access to a magic container right here at the Laser Guardians. And needed to take out the mini Helmasaur in order to get the necessary small key. So here comes the big question.
Yeah,
Are we...
The last one was in Tau Room. You don't want to go get it. For sure.
Well, I was thinking about silver arrows technically, but... Alright, Goomba skipping the consolation chest, but will we see, as you have called it, Moldorm's last will and testament?
I think that's also somebody else's meme, but you know what? I'll take it.
Goomba, you thief! Why did you have to take Moldorm's last heart piece?
It could have been Silver's.
I mean, technically true. Alright, we have to take care of a little bit of geometry, and then have one to take care of.
Alright. Perhaps I'm super unobservant. Where did Fear Agent find the mushroom?
Mushroom was the lava chest in Turtle Rock.
Ah, okay.
Alright, Aga 2 is down, which means we have to travel. So, in the spirit of this holiday season, it's time to cover Passover. Go down, Goomba, over towards the pyramid to tell old Ganon to let the Triforce go.
I think... I could be wrong, I haven't really been keeping up, but I think that Passover was like a month ago. But that's okay.
Sunset is tonight, actually.
Really? Usually the Easter and Passover get, like, offset for some reason. Doesn't make any sense, because technically they were around the same time.
They are supposed to be around the same time. That's what happens when lunar leap years happen and things are just in a full chaos mode. 7 times per 19 years. That's anyway, Goomba's taking out the pig now.
Alright, we are on to the final phase. Meanwhile, Sabatender is about to go up to Aga 2. So this is a very close race between Goomba and Sabatender. The two runners who were very, very adamant in their file names about the rivalry here. So...
Also, I just realized I had missed the hint for where the silvers were located. Alright.
Says Light World, so I'm guessing something like could be one of the tablets, could be I don't think we saw like Graveyard Ledge or
I will cover that shortly, but in the meantime, we have our first place finish. Goomba managed to win the rivalry and this entire race in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 54 minutes, 41 seconds.
And Sabatender chimed into the chat right after that, like, no.
So yeah, silvers, if they were located in Light World, that effectively left either Bombo's Tablet, Potion Shop, Pyramid, and that may be it, because I do want to say that Ether Tablet is considered a Death Mountain check.
Pedestal as well.
Yeah, pedestal could be a thing. Are we being joined by someone?
Yes, Goomba,
Hello.
GG.
Congratulations on that win, my goodness. Okay, so we have to talk about this because it was the Galaxy Brain play of the year. So you get the Titan's Mitts in Skull Woods, and instead of going down to Village of Outcasts, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Mireshed, and you get the hammer.
Yeah, I was gonna check Mireshed and Dark Death Mountain, see if I could find the hammer before going to Village of Outcasts. And then I found the hammer. And I was like, okay, no, never mind, no Death Mountain. Let's just go to Village of Outcasts.
All right. Yep, seems good. Turns out that was basically the play that won it, because everybody else got super jebaited by that big chest.
When I saw Quake in there, I was like, okay, well, rip everyone. And then the bow in Hera Basement on top of that.
Oh yeah, two of our runners skip bow and Hera Basement as well here, and it looks like your let's say friendly rival here, Sabotender, is about to finish as well.
Yeah, we've got quite the rivalry going on.
With an official time of 1 hour 57 minutes and 1 second. So, pretty close race there. He was fighting Agatu when you got into the Ganon fight.
It's not a friendly Agatu, I have to say. Those patterns were a bit uncooperative.
I agree.
I'm also not very good at that fight, honestly. It's probably my weakest boss fight.
That I'm probably on the same page there too.
I am honestly forced to disagree. Mothula, or rather Mothula's conveyor belt, is the worst boss for me.
Mothula's room is a pretty hard boss, I really agree.
Yeah, I guess technically the worst boss I've ever experienced is having to do Kane of Samaria Mothula, but that will never occur in an actual game.
I mean, the worst boss I've ever experienced was Fighter Sword Vitreous in Mothula's room. That was fun.
Oh, good.
Oh, Randomizer shenanigans.
Yeah. I mean, stick any boss in that room and it's miserable.
Well, I think Cold Stare is actually kind of okay, because spikes damage Cold Stare.
Yeah, Cold Stare and, well, Moldorm. But stick Moldorm in any room that doesn't have a pit, and he's kind of pathetic.
Yeah. And also... Oh yeah, pedestal, not it.
And it wasn't Potion Shop, so book required for Bombo's Tablet for silver arrows, if I followed the logic correct.
Oh, I was so worried when I saw that book. I thought it was going to be something dumb like Ice Rod and Bombo's Tablet.
Yeah. We thought you might dip out and check real quick, but...
I was going to check Ether Tablet if I didn't find it in the basement, but... I would have just gone to Turtle Rock if I didn't find it in GT, I think.
Alright. And it sounds like we are also joined by Sabotender. I assume the trash talk is going to fly. Just go ahead.
Goomba, god damn it.
Language, Sabo, please.
Jesus, man.
It's not my fault I'm so much better than you.
I know, seriously, man. I'm just such a scrub.
Well, it was really just one play that did it for Goomba, because you were keeping up with him about as well as you could, given the fact that he found the Quake medallion the first time you went into Thieves Town.
Oh, nice. I think the one thing that really cost me was the extra trip up the mountain to check the one chest in Turtle Rock, hoping that was a mirror, I guess I was thinking at that time.
Yeah, or like Fire Rod, I guess it could have been, but
right.
that was the one thing that could have. At that point, that was basically the one wrong move you could have made, rather than going to Thieves Town again.
Yeah.
I don't know if you use a map tracker, but I think that was literally it.
Yeah, I was down to just a couple of garbage locations, and I'm really against double dipping Thieves Town. If I go in without the hammer, I just kind of like write that big chest off. So I thought, okay, if that's it, then I'm totally screwed. But I'm going to go for the mountain instead and go for the one item in Turtle Rock. But I wised up after that and got myself back on track at least.
Yeah. I made the Galaxy Brain play and saving quit out of Skullwoods and just floated straight to Marshed and collected my hammer. So.
Nice. I kind of like I spent too much time in Skullwoods. I kind of back and forth kind of around, but yeah, nice to play. Yeah, going right for the.
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting play there, and yeah, it's reasonable. It's a reasonable play to make if you're thinking, I don't want to go into Thieves Town without the hammer, let's go look for some stuff. And that does make
and I
sense.
guess, we picked up the Titan's Mitts in Skull Woods, so that made our Dark World access easier. So if you wanted to flute away from the village, then you're able to get back into the Village of Outcasts easier. So it's a totally reasonable play to make, I think.
Yeah, I figured with float and mitts, I can just come back in like 5 seconds. So why not make those quick few checks and see if I can find the mirror or the hammer too.
And I think Goomba said he was planning on going up Death Mountain to check like Super Bunny and Hookshot Cave and stuff. If that wasn't the case, it just happened to be that the hammer was in that first.
Since the hammer was in Marshed, I just went straight back to Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
So I'm just now noticing that the stun drop was full magic.
Oh, that would have been good to know.
Oh, what? I figured that out pretty early. That was nice.
I always forget to check. Like, maybe if I get like a hook shot in like the first couple of minutes, I'll check and see if it's bombs or something, but otherwise I just always forget to check.
Now, I imagine...
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Goomba, did you go South Shore right away?
No, I did CAC first.
Oh, okay.
Savitender, that play kind of got you an early lead there.
Yeah, I was feeling great right off the bat there. And I'm glad I didn't do Palace dive because early on there, I don't know. I just thought we're gonna have to do Aga 1 at some point, anyways. Might as well just go for it with a couple of checks still left in the Light World and hope that something comes up on the Pyramid Ledge. And sure enough, we found our glove there, which was fantastic.
Yeah, I last location to Aga 1 just because I wanted to. Like, I knew I was gonna have to do it at some point anyway, but I figured maybe if I put it off, I can find some equipment to make it a bit faster, like the boots or something. But ultimately, when I had Gold Sword at 13 minutes, there wasn't much more time to be saved, so I probably should have just gone for it.
So, Savitender, did you actually never check like Ice Rod Cave and Agina's Cave?
Ice Rod Cave, I did go back to once I had my flute, but okay. Agina's Cave was super late. I don't know. It was one of those locations that I had kind of left. So it was maybe about an hour in. I think
Yeah, I know those were like the last. Like you hadn't done those when you went to Aga, and so, or at least one of them.
Yeah. Agina, Eastern Palace. That might have been all that I had left, but I definitely didn't want to go to Eastern Palace. That was for sure. I wasn't going to do it.
All right. So you mentioned that when you went up, or when you found the Quake or when you wrote off the Thieves Town big chest and said, "Well, if it's there, I'm dead," and it was there, and you finished third overall in the race. So the clear problem here was a lot of other people did the, we'll say, brave or foolhardy play of skipping the Hera basement chest.
Oh. Yeah,
which
I guess
was what really got a lot of these people.
that's interesting. I figured because I had spent so much, because we didn't have the mirror at that point, it took so long to get up to Hera, I wasn't going to leave that one chest. I skipped the one in Eastern Palace in the Vanilla Big Key, and it was an item. I don't know what it was, but I figured that if I got my boots and mirror at some point and I still didn't have items I was looking for, then I could, quickly dash into that dungeon, do that one check. But I was going to leave a couple things behind. Tower of Hera basement? Nah, no.
My rule of thumb is, if I do not have the mirror, I'm never skipping Hera basement, because it takes so long to get back there without the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. Speaking of so long to get back there, how'd you guys like getting the Bombos medallion right after seeing that Turtle Rock was required Bombos?
I was so
and not
worried
having the mirror.
chest. I was so worried the first chest in Turtle Rock was going to be like the mirror or the boots or some garbage.
Totally, yeah. I also, and once we kind of cleared the way for the last couple dungeons, once I found, I guess, Fire Rod would have been my last piece of equipment that I was looking for before Ice Rod. At that point, GT was open, so I knew that Ice Rod was going to be in there. I was thinking about maybe diving into Turtle Rock, but I figured that was probably the wrong play, and that the Ice Rod was definitely hanging out in GT, so I'm glad I went through with that as well.
Yeah. Basically, as soon as I see that Turtle Rock is a pendant, I assume Ice Rod is in Ganon's Tower until I know otherwise.
Right?
Same, definitely same.
I am not used to making that call, but then again, I don't get to call all dungeons much, so there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the most popular goal, that's for sure. Probably
unless you're playing the
Ice
tournament.
Rod's always in GT. Well,
because the most recent tournament, all dungeons was
Yeah.
very popular.
Yeah, which I mean, it makes sense in a 1v1 tournament setting, but for these bigger races, it's not very popular.
It should be more popular. It's not that bad, really. We should throw some keys in it, and then it'd be a lot better, I think.
Please, no. Don't make me hunt down those castle tower keys. Just don't.
Oh boy.
Yeah, when I looked at my Dark World map and saw that Turtle Rock was a pendant, I already knew the Ice Rod was going to be in Ganon's Tower. So when I was down to just the rods for go mode, I decided, okay, I'm just going to do checks until I find the Fire Rod and then just rush straight for Ganon's Tower. And that's what I did.
Man knows what he's talking about.
Oh,
P-Train with the Swag Moldorm 2 hover, what's up? And Fear Agent finishing with an official time of 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 46 seconds, which is good enough for 10th place overall. Fear Agent also had some wonderful trash talk in the file names. So
I'm sure he's got some words to say to me now that it's all said and done,
Yeah, so this will be an interesting conversation, I'm sure.
And yet the only one who didn't engage in this schoolyard antics is the one who's in last place. I mean, I've heard of the phrase "nice folks finish last," but this is a little ridiculous.
Well, a little friendly competition is good to gain your to boost your skill a bit. That being said, P-Train has made a bit of an error. in that he went ahead and finished GT, but he hasn't finished Turtle Rock. So he's going to have to go back up there.
That's an oof.
Oh, yeah, major oof.
It's not
I
like
had-
the worst thing I've ever heard, but it's still a trip.
At least he didn't drop in the Ganon hole, I guess.
Yeah.
And you know, he can save and quit right after beating Turtle Rock and just be there. So
Yeah, there's that at least.
all right, we'll see if we can get Fear Agent to join. So yeah, that was. I mean, there were a couple of really sort of testing locations in this
Yeah, it definitely felt like that.
game.
The Quake Medallion and the bow were not pleasant.
Yeah, and of course the Ice Rod being in GT, you kind of had to expect that. The mirrors location was kind of dumb, in my opinion,
Yeah,
but it also helped a little bit. It helped people not get jebaited into those like one-off mirror locations to find the Quake Medallion.
Yeah, I really wanted to go to Misery Mire, but I don't know. I just felt like Ice Palace was the stronger play.
I mean,
But
in
evidently
theory,
I was wrong.
it is. There's more stuff, but there wasn't
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, Ice
But-
Palace had nothing. Pod had nothing. Like, both of those
Yeah.
things are pretty ridiculous. And it sounds like we're finally joined by Fear Agent. Hello,
Hello.
Hey, Fear.
and welcome.
GG's, dude.
Thanks.
You know, I just have to ask something between all three of you. Why the, I guess the name calling at the start?
Because we're all friends and it's fun to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. They seem to have something against me. I'm not sure if it's just because I'm that much better than them. It makes them feel bad. I'm not really sure what the deal is. But you know,
It gives us like a target to shoot for, you know? I mean, because Goomba is pretty solid, you know, like if I can get anywhere near him, then I feel like I'm doing pretty good. So, you know, I try and make some galaxy brain plays myself. You know, I don't quite pull them off with the same panache as he, but, you know, it's fun. It's fun to have those kind of little rivalries going on just to kind of spice up your
yeah, for sure.
It's not even a rivalry. Like, I don't think I've ever beat Goomba, so
Sure you have.
not really a rivalry.
There was that one time, I think.
Exactly.
No, there's been a decent number of times you beat me. I'm pretty sure.
No, there hasn't. I
Yes,
think the
there
number
have.
might be
I-
one. I think it's
I
one.
could look back at my SRL history. I'm sure I'd find at least 2.
Okay. Well, we've raced like hundreds of times, and it's less than a handful, so I'll just leave it at that. I'm in like a real love-hate relationship with this game right now. I feel like my routing was really good. Of course, I skipped the bow. I pretty much figured Ice Rod would have been in GT. Like if I had my bow, I would have never gone into TR before going into GT. And what I thought was every thought that I made was, oh, were you watching Hover?
Yeah, it was real close. He was about 2/3 of the way across the Trinex gap. That's pretty impressive. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I thought the mirror was going to be in Ice Palace. I thought the bow was going to be in Turtle Rock, and then the Ice Rod and Pod. That was my thinking.
I was
That
pretty
kind of-
sure. I was pretty sure the mirror would be in Ice Palace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought I really thought Ice Palace was going to have the mirror. So when I full cleared it and it was nothing, I was a little disappointed. But the big thing was that bow. I think Hera was actually my first dungeon I completed, and I debated whether or not to go back in. I was like, there's so much, and I guess it could be something, but I'm gonna gamble that it's not. And of course, it was the bow. So
Yeah, so you of course got really the worst of it on both ends. You got the Quake medallion sitting there laughing at you, and the bow as well. P-Train, of course, finishing off Trinex there, and will be facing off against Ganon here.
I actually didn't get big debate. I got the Quake medallion when I did.
Oh, yeah. You got the Quake medallion the first time. You only checked like first 4 of Thieves Town, I remember.
Yeah.
I didn't even do that.
Yeah, this seed really wanted you to have to either double dip or go to out of the way locations just to get your progression. It was close to effectively a 100% or a hundo seed the way this was acting up.
I don't think the seed was actually that bad as long as you don't skip the wrong items. Which is
That sounds like every rando ever.
That's every rando I play lately is I either full clear or I skip the correct items, and that's why my love-hate relationship with this game is going on right now. Is I'm in that funk where I'm either having to full clear everything and not getting what I need till I last location it, or I skip an item and it happens to be my progression. So it's like really frustrating. This game is really frustrating right now.
The seed was just kind of a forced full clear, though. I feel like I'm looking at my map tracker right now, and outside of the 2 tablets, which obviously were not accessible before Ganon's Tower, I have Graveyard Ledge, Pyramid Fairy, and Purple Chest, and whatever stuff I walked past in Turtle Rock, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, mine would be about the same as you there. I don't have a map tracker, but that sounds about right for me as well.
So were the silver arrows on Graveyard Ledge then?
No. Bombo's tablet.
Did we actually confirm that?
Based off of the credits scene, Witch's Shop had health, and Pedestal was also health. And since Ether Tablet is a Death Mountain check, typically it had to be Bombo's tablet.
Did anyone check Graveyard Ledge?
Oh, actually, I did.
Okay, so it's Bombo's tablet, then it has to be.
Well, alright then.
And with that in mind, P-Train has now finished the race in 15th place overall, 2 hours, 17 minutes, 26 seconds, just getting ahead of another runner by 3 seconds. Let's see if we can get them in here.
Yeah, so even with all of those missteps and missed directions there, still coming in, relatively high in the pack. Hello, P-Train, how you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
GG's, dude.
Tell me how you really feel.
GG.
GG, Peter.
I intentionally skipped 2 locations this entire game.
And those happen to be the ones.
Hera basement,
The-
Thieves Town Big Chest.
Hera basement, or the Thieves Town basement, and the Hera basement.
I apologize profusely for your loss.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember talking with some people like a week ago about how I never do Thieves Town without the hammer. And I was like, you know what? This time I'm just going to go for it. What's the odds that, number 1, the chest has an item, number 2, it's actual progression? I dove Turtle Rock. I dove Turtle Rock without the fire rod, and then I dove it again without the ice rod. So that was wonderful.
Jeez.
Oh.
So, and ironically, the hint in Turtle Rock was that a unique item was locked behind the hammer. So I was like, oh, great. Like at that point, outside of Turtle Rock, I had 2 locations left. I had the Thieves Town basement and I had Hera basement. And then I got that a unique item was behind the hammer. So I immediately went to Thieves Town and then did Meyer. I got the Quake, did Meyer, did literally everything until I last location the bow in Hera basement.
Ugh.
after that, the sea was pretty good. Like I enjoyed it after finding that bow, but getting that bow kind of sucked.
Yeah, I mean, at least you showed off some pretty interesting skill there. I was really rooting for you to make that gap there at Trinex. That would have been great.
That's one of those, like, if you get more than halfway and you fall, you just give up. Like, because at that point, your wrist is probably shot anyways, so.
True.
So, yeah, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to have a little bit. That's literally the only reason I continued, was to try to hover that gap. I had no interest in killing Ganon. I was so done with the seed when I found that bow. I can't believe, like, our last location, I skipped 2 locations in the entire game, and those both were the ones that they got me.
You're a lot more chipper about it than I would be, I'll tell you that much.
I mean, at this point, like, I literally, like, sometimes I think forfeiting's like the easy way out. Like, sometimes I feel like we have to live with the decisions we make, and that was kind of what was going. I was like, you know what, we're gonna do this. Like, we're on Restream. Let's just finish the seed and deal with the consequences of the choices we've made.
I almost never forfeit. Like, I think I've forfeited once in the past, like, 5 months, and it was because I literally just mismarked my tracker and forgot a location and had absolutely no idea where my go mode was. So I just kind of gave up.
I think I forfeit like 90% of my races.
I definitely forfeit one-on-ones. Like, I don't really see a point in finishing a one-on-one race. But yeah, I mean, it was a group race, and I mean, like I said, despite finding the bow, everything went pretty well after that. I mean, not that I had a whole lot after finding the bow, but I had already dove pod and did poaching glitch for nothing. I'd already cleared Eastern out, so at that point, it was just hoping the ice rod was before the big key in GT. That, and I didn't stumble across, I don't know, the book.
Oh, I stumbled across the book. It was great. It was
it was on the right-hand
tower.
side.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that was another dumb thing I did. When I was coming up on the rando room, I menued to mirror instead of bombs. That was fun.
Monk ass.
Debated on just going right side after that, but I was like, no, let's just go ahead and finish up rando room. Because if I went right side, I was going full Dark Magician. So I was like, let's just go back to rando room.
Oh, jeez.
Oh boy. Well, that has been a very, very interesting race here. I'm sure you all had a time, and
I certainly had a time.
Actually, I like all dungeons. I don't like when they force you to do AGA 1 early in all dungeons.
I just wish they wouldn't always have progression in GT, especially dumb progression like the Ice Rod.
Yeah, it's bad when even all dungeons ends up being an ice rod hunt.
Yeah.
That's sometimes the nature of how all dungeons works. You have to just get your crystals and hope that you don't need anything for a pendant later, but nope, it just chooses to misbehave.
See, that's why you play Cross-World Key Sanity, because that way, despite it always being an ice rod hunt, at least there's like 10 different ice rods.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So I think we probably need to wrap things up here. What do you think?
Yeah, as much as I'm enjoying this, we probably should. So again, shout outs to our 4 runners, Fear Agent, P-Train, Sabotender, and Goomba. Please give them a follow along with our trackers, literally Jen and Demensive. Don't forget about the better commentator between the two of us, Dr. Bob-tastic.
False. But I was stumbling over my words all day. That being said, thank you once again, Wolfman 2004. Your commentary as well. It has been a pleasure. And is there anything else our runners would like to say before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I just want to plug the league going on right now. We're ending week 5. Every runner here is a member of the league. I think the 3 other runners have a really good shot to the playoffs. So playoffs start in 2 weeks. Make sure you check that at ALTTPRleague.com. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was
Yep.
actually going to cover the schedules, but let's let the other runners go first.
I was just going to say thanks to you guys on the crew today for commentating and tracking. Much appreciated as always, and I'm glad I got to be part of this.
Yeah, absolutely. GG, everybody. Thank you, staff. Glad you were able to get your full money's worth out of my run today. I made it count. Gave you lots of footage.
Alright, are we missing anyone, or shall I go ahead with the schedule administrative parts?
All right, that'll be it.
Then, let's quickly cover the schedule then. We're gonna be back on Speed Gaming at 5 o'clock for Super Metroid Prodigy Tournament, and then later, Spoiler Logs, and then Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer Spring. Plenty more Zelda 1 Rando and more spoiler logs on Speed Gaming 2, Speed Gaming 3, Final Fantasy 1 Rando and Super Metroid's Weekly Race, Speed Gaming 4, Final Fantasy 1 Rando, and Speed Gaming 5, SM Prodigy, and Final Fantasy 1 Rando. Please follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 236 along with our foreign language restream channels. Okay, that should cover the admin stuff, Dr. Bob.
All right, thank you all once again for watching. This has been the Speed Gaming Daily Race Series, Open All Dungeon Seed. I hope you all had a good time, and I will just say that I have been Dr. Bob Tass. And for Wolfman and everyone else here, good. See you later, everybody.
Happy Easter, Chag Sameach, and keep on doing the hula, everyone.